It's the weekend, and I hope it's treating you well. I have a good feeling about what is to come with XRP, and there are reasons for you to feel positive about holding the Ripple crypto coin. Coming up, we'll be taking a look at where it sits today and see what the news around the crypto community is doing. Right now, let's roll that intro. Hello, and welcome back to Money Site, your favorite crypto news channel. Thanks for being a part of the XRP family. Hey, if you're joining us for the first time, please hit that like button and subscribe. Also, be sure to turn on notifications so you get alerts whenever we drop new updates. You can let your voice be heard too in the comment section below. Getting down to business, we all continue to wait for what's going to be the end game in the SEC versus Ripple court case. The clock continues to tick, and it's anyone's guess when it will finally be over. That said, in an article that was shared on the site FX Street, it's got some interesting info about the suit and a new development. The article says, the Securities and Exchange Commission's case against Ripple is drawing to a close. The latest development in the proceedings has nearly 13 documents being pulled from public view. The SEC has filed a motion to protect documents requested by Ripple from public viewing. The XRP Army, proponents of the supporters of XRP, have unearthed one of the 13 entries that count as an internal SEC document in the case. A speech draft of William Hinman, the former SEC Director of Corporation Finance, is enclosed as an entry in an email submitted for review and comment by SEC officials. Pseudonymous XRP proponent Digital Asset Buy believes that Hinman's speech came from a collection of people's opinions. Now here it is at John Deaton 1. The Hinman speech came from this. It looks like a whole collection of people's personal opinions. Hinman's speech is considered critical to the outcome of the case since he declared that Ether is not a security in June of 2018. Back then, Hinman had argued he had warned Ripple about XRP and advised the company to halt its sales. The case will eventually settle, and despite the litigation filed almost 9 months ago and being delisted on many exchanges, mostly in the U.S., XRP has continued to draw attention from investors, and though down from its all-time high, it continues to hover over the $1 mark, and for the year is up. Once the dust settles and the case is closed, as I see it, XRP is going to jump in value. That's why it's important to get on board this train before it leaves the station. There's another bit of legal action we need to dive a little deeper into. We mentioned it yesterday, but Friday, a class action suit was filed against Apple. The site U.Today filed a report which says Apple, the biggest company in the world, has been slapped with a class action lawsuit by a group of disgruntled XRP holders who claim to have lost their funds because of a phishing application. Cybersecurity IT professional Hadona Dieppe filed the lawsuit in Federal District Court in Maryland September the 16th on behalf of similarly situated individuals. The legal dispute revolves around a cryptocurrency wallet called Toast Plus. Dieppe claims that the Cupertino-headquartered tech giant should be held liable for authorizing the malicious app in the App Store and failing to remove it. Apple has long prided itself on rigorous application vetting process, which is supposed to set it apart from arch-rival Android. Because of its locked-down ecosystem, the company has full control over placing applications on the monopolistic App Store. The plaintiff downloaded the application in March 2020 to her iPhone. She believed that it was a version of Toast Wallet due to its nearly identical logo. Plaintiff believed that Toast Plus was a version of Toast Wallet, a well-known cryptocurrency wallet, as the names were similar and the logo used for the application in the App Store was the same or nearly identical. Dieppe initially relied on RipX, a popular XRP desktop wallet, for storing her tokens before the project shut down in January 2018. This March, she transferred her holdings to the Toast Plus app and then discovered that her XRPs were gone and her account was deleted in August. She later realized that she was the victim of a phishing program that masqueraded as the legitimate wallet. The fatal download cost her $5,000. In early 2021, members of the RXRP Reddit community started complaining that Toast Wallet was actually compromised, despite appearing high in search results. Some users whose accounts have been emptied out by scammers described the situation as depressing. The plaintiff wants Apple to pay her and every class member damages for negligence. We say it a lot here, folks. Do your research and always trade safely. I urge everybody to be diligent. Heading now to social media as we move on. It's another space where XRP and Ripple continue to see a lot of attention. The XRP community on Twitter has a large group of loyal followers, and that's where we get our next juicy details. Here's one recent tweet from @AlertChannel. It talks about Ripple and the recent affirmation of its ledger by a member of the international banking community. Breaking. Bank of England document confirms that Ripple XRP protocol has been successfully tested for crossover payment transactions. FinTech Accelerator Proof of Concept. #Ripple exploring the synchronized settlement of payments using the Interledger protocol. Speaking of moves, well, how about a big movement of 82 million XRP was reported late Saturday. The news broke on U.Today, where it reports the site sharing a link from Whale Alert about the move that took place over the last 36 hours. Now, the info they share says, Whale Alert team has reported that over the past 24 hours, a crypto equivalent of $88,850,675 has been transferred by Ripple and unregistered wallets. Ripple distributed ledger tech provider sent 10 million XRP to the Bitstamp exchange, its on-demand liquidity corridor in Luxembourg. Ripple has also shifted 20 million to the Bitso exchange, its ODL partner in Mexico and Latin America. Earlier this year, it raised more than $1 billion during the investment round and turned into the first crypto unicorn in the region. Something is brewing, and I continue to maintain that XRP will go through the roof. The roller coaster ride it has been on since the suit was filed continues, but there is momentum, and it's being noticed by XRP enthusiasts across the Twitter sphere. Crypto trader Patrick Brand, still bullish about the future of XRP, and tweeted, XRP to the moon. The activity was noticed as well by another crypto enthusiast, Crypto Audacious, who said they are clearly priming up for big things. We are closer than ever before. XRP, the standard. We've talked about it in our past videos that XRP is the future, the bridge between fiat and crypto, and will be the standard, the coin. XRP continues to hold its own, and XRP holders know that they'll be laughing all the way to the bank, so to speak. Once the SEC case is settled and common sense regulation is implemented, I am confident XRP will be the crypto. Moving on, we have news coming from the site zcrypto.com that talks about what is happening with Ripple and XRP in the U.S. Congress. It says the SEC and Ripple lawsuit continues to drag on, even as developments from the courtroom battle further, hammering the argument that the SEC has no case against the firm. Observers have noted that closing the books on this issue will allow this cryptocurrency to again focus its efforts on becoming a more widely used asset with greater utility. The Securities and Exchange Commission's war on the cryptocurrency industry has often drawn a lot of criticisms to the regulator, as they are deemed to be stifling innovation in the industry with their antics. These criticisms have most recently been from the U.S. Senate. During SEC Chair Gary Gensler's Senate Banking Committee hearing appearance, the regulator came under fire from Republican senators who denounced the Commission's plans for the cryptocurrency industry and other industries under their purview. The most vocal of the critics was Senator Pat Toomey, Republican Pennsylvania, who called out Gensler for trying to regulate digital tokens through enforcement. He added that the SEC hadn't been transparent with market participants about how it determines whether digital assets are securities subject to tough investor protection rules. According to a Bloomberg report, the comments also alluded to the SEC's move against Coinbase. However, Gensler responded by saying he thought that only a few cryptocurrencies do not need to be registered with the SEC, as they were not securities, adding that stablecoins may also be deemed as securities. Following the Senate exchange, co-founder of Ripple, Brad Garlinghouse, has again called out the regulatory watchdog for its contradictory claims concerning the cryptocurrency industry. He pointed out that Gensler continues to insist that the laws regulating the industry were clear, yet he is asking the Senate to write laws to clarify what was already clear. Chair Gensler insisted again in today's testimony that the securities laws are clear and easily understandable for the crypto market, and then turned around and said Congress needs to write laws to clarify. So which one is it? Thank you, Senator Toomey, for being a voice of reason, he said. Stuart Alderoty, the general counsel for Ripple, also chimed in that the SEC had continuously treated the industry with harsh enforcement actions and threats, instead of providing clarity, in contradiction to their calls for the industry to engage the commission in good faith. Meanwhile, Brad Garlinghouse has hinted that the company was gaining supporters among pro-innovation members of Congress who were working to pave a path to clarity and certainty with U.S. regulators for the industry. Once there is regulatory clarity, XRP will move by leaps and bounds to the top. That said, let's take a look at the charts. XRP is around a daily support zone in blue, so we're going to be looking for buy setups. On the 4-hour chart, XRP formed a reversal pattern, but it is not ready to go yet. Before we buy, we want the buyers to prove that they are taking over again. You don't want to buy a bearish market, right? The trigger is waiting for a momentum candle close above the gray area to buy. Our support around $1 is holding strong. If the bull market continues, we would have to wait for Bitcoin to finish melting faces before XRP can shine. We have formidable resistance all the way from $1.24 to $1.40, which is tough range to clear. Meanwhile, until that buy is activated, XRP would be overall bearish, can still trade lower and even break below the blue support. Can't wait to see how this all plays out. Once again, I urge you to do your research and remember, trade safely, guys. Once again, we're not a licensed financial advisor. All content shared here is for entertainment purposes only. That's going to be a wrap for today. I invite you to subscribe to this channel and activate notifications so you don't miss out when we drop our daily updates. You got an opinion or a comment? Please leave it in the section below. It's always good to hear from you. Thanks again for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.